Japan built a motorhome so small it should be useless, yet you can stand up inside, sleep 3 adults, and run AC. This tiny Japanese truck turns into a real motorhome at the push of a button, and it completely rewrites what small RV is supposed to mean. Let's get straight into it, because this thing doesn't need hype. What you're looking at here is the Borox Mini-Motorhome, the flagship Kei camper conversion from a Japanese specialist called Greenwoods Motors, or GWM. It's built on a Subaru Sambar Kei truck, and on paper it sounds impossible. The base vehicle matters more than people think, so start there. The Subaru Sambar is one of Japan's most respected Kei trucks. It's compact, lightweight, efficient, and mechanically simple. This particular setup uses a manual transmission with a turbocharged engine, which is important because Kei trucks are often pushed hard, mountain roads, narrow city streets, constant stop-and-go traffic. Reliability is non-negotiable. GWM didn't pick this platform because it's cute, they picked it because it works and because it stays within Japan's strict Kei vehicle regulations while still offering a usable payload for a camper box. Now look at the footprint. This thing is genuinely tiny. The camper box only extends about 20 centimeters, roughly 7.8 inches, past the rear of the truck bed. That's it. No massive overhang, no awkward proportions. And while driving, it still feels like a small truck, not a wall on wheels. But the real magic starts once you stop and hit the remote. The roof is the defining feature here. It's an electrically liftable pop-up roof, controlled remotely, using actuators to raise the fiberglass top section. When it's down, the vehicle stays low and aerodynamic for driving. When it's up, the entire interior changes. Suddenly, you're not crouching or crawling, you're standing. Fully raised, the interior height reaches about 1.7 meters, roughly 5.5 feet. For most people, that's enough to stand comfortably, move around, change clothes, and actually live inside the space instead of just sleeping in it. This isn't a fabric pop-top like you see on many campers. The structure underneath is solid wood, protected by a clear coat, and the upper shell is fiberglass. When the roof lifts, the wood walls are exposed, creating rigid vertical sides instead of floppy canvas. That matters for insulation, noise, durability, and overall feeling of solidity. It feels like a real room, not a tent balanced on a truck. And because this is Japan, safety and stability weren't ignored. GWM added support legs attached to the frame that you deploy when parked. These stabilize the vehicle when the roof is raised, reducing sway and stress on the actuators. Again, no drama, no marketing buzzwords, just practical engineering. Let's talk about the exterior finish, because it's not just cosmetic. The entire camper is coated in GWM's proprietary lizard skin paint. This stuff is highly scratch-resistant, designed to handle branches, gravel, tight urban spaces, and daily wear without looking destroyed after a year. That's especially important on a small vehicle that's meant to go everywhere, not just sit in a resort campground. The underlying wood is fully sealed with a clear protective coat, so moisture, humidity, and temperature changes don't become long-term problems. Windows and access points are placed with intent. On the campsite side, there's a large acrylic awning window that brings in light and airflow without killing privacy. The side entry door is large enough to move in and out comfortably, even with gear. At the rear, you get a tailgate-style opening that completely changes how the camper feels. Open it up, and suddenly the inside and outside blend together. Cooking, sitting, working, or just staring at the view. It all feels less boxed in, which is critical in a vehicle this small. There's also an optional roll-up awning that extends your living space outdoors. Again, no excess. Just enough to make camp life comfortable. Now step inside, and this is where a lot of RVs lose the plot, but the Borox doesn't. The interior is minimalist on purpose. Lightweight plywood is used throughout to keep weight down and efficiency up. Every surface, every panel, every corner exists for a reason. The color palette is light, which visually expands the space. Dark interiors make small campers feel like coffins. This one feels open, calm, and functional. Storage isn't about big cabinets, it's about smart placement. Mesh pockets, hooks, metal bars, and flexible storage points are everywhere. You don't waste weight on heavy doors and hinges when a net or rail does the job better. This also makes the space adaptable. Different users can configure it differently depending on how they travel. The layout changes depending on what you're doing, and that's the key. During the day, it's a compact living and working space. There's a flip-up table by the window that works for meals, laptop work, or just sitting with a coffee. At the rear, a fixed counter gives you another surface, prep space, storage, or a place to set gear. When it's time to sleep, everything transforms. The lower floor converts into a proper double bed. Not a cramped emergency setup, an actual sleeping surface that two adults can use comfortably. Above that, there's a slide-out slatted bunk bed. This isn't an afterthought. It's engineered to be strong, lightweight, and easy to deploy. Together, these two sleeping areas allow up to 3 adults to sleep inside a vehicle that, from the outside, looks barely larger than a golf cart with a box on it. That alone is impressive, but what really separates this from many microcampers is that you're not giving up basic comfort to achieve it. The Borox has a dedicated off-grid electrical system built around a massive 600 Ah battery bank. Let that sink in for a second. That's not weekend power. That's serious capacity, especially in a vehicle this small. The batteries are typically located under the rear table surface, keeping weight low and centered. This system powers everything on board. LED lighting throughout the camper gives efficient, even illumination without draining the batteries. There's a small refrigerator for food storage, no cooler juggling, no ice runs. A microwave is included for quick meals. And yes, there's a roof-mounted air conditioning unit. Air conditioning in a Kei truck camper sounds absurd until you realize this is Japan. Summers are brutally humid, and sleeping without AC isn't romantic, it's miserable. The fact that GWM integrated a roof-mounted AC unit and paired it with a battery system capable of running it off-grid shows how seriously this camper is designed to be used, not just shown. Every component choice here is about balance. Power without excess. Comfort without bulk. Features without clutter. And then there's the roof again, because it deserves a second mention. When the roof is raised, the entire interior experience changes. You're no longer constantly aware of the vehicle's size. You can stand, stretch, move, and breathe. In many small campers, height is the limiting factor that kills long-term usability. GWM solved that without making the vehicle taller on the road, which is the hardest way to solve it. From a driving perspective, that matters a lot. Lower height means better stability, better fuel efficiency, less wind noise, and less stress in crosswinds. You don't feel like you're piloting a sail. One important thing to be clear about, this camper is designed specifically for the Japanese market. It's not officially sold internationally. That's not a marketing decision. It's regulatory, logistical, and practical. Kei vehicles are a uniquely Japanese category, and exporting, certifying, and supporting them overseas comes with serious challenges. GWM focuses on domestic clients and offers customization within that context. And yes, customization is part of the deal. Buyers can work with GWM on layout tweaks, finishes, and details. That's another reason this isn't mass-market RV fluff. This is small-scale, specialist work built for people who actually use their campers. What the Borox really represents is a design philosophy that a lot of modern RVs have forgotten. Instead of starting with a list of features and trying to cram them into a vehicle, GWM started with constraints. Size limits, weight limits, real-world usage. Then they designed solutions that respect those limits instead of fighting them. That's why this camper feels coherent. Nothing is random. Nothing is there just to look good in photos. Every decision traces back to usability. You don't see oversized TVs because you don't need them. You don't see marble countertops because they're pointless weight. You don't see massive freshwater tanks because this camper is designed for short, efficient trips, not pretending to be an apartment. And that honesty is refreshing. In a world where RVs keep getting bigger, heavier, and more expensive, often while becoming less reliable, the Borox goes in the opposite direction. Smaller, smarter, more intentional. It's not trying to replace a Class C motorhome. It's not competing with luxury vans. It's answering a different question entirely. How small can a real motorhome be without becoming uncomfortable or compromised? And the answer, apparently, is this small. That's good engineering. The Borox Mini-Motorhome doesn't shout. It doesn't flex. It doesn't try to impress you with fake luxury. It just quietly works, and in the RV world, that might be the most impressive thing of all.